Again, looked like we had a slight issue there with the screen share. However, we're back online. Thank you everybody for joining us here today with myself, BroKaine and Bitcoin Chaser, for your weekly dose of crypto news live at 5, where we go through all the news on the Bitcoin Chaser website in the last week. We have a little segment from Son of a Chain, which you can be excited for. It's quite a good one this week. We have a quick look at the Coinmarketcap. We're going to be taking a look at Gemini, which launched the cryptocurrency pegged to the US dollar called Gemini Dollar from the Winklevoss twins. We all know them from Facebook. I think it was actually called something social movie, and they were actually in it. It was all about Facebook. Crypto billionaires, we're going to take a look at the Winklevoss's net worth. We're going to be taking a look at Bitfury, that uses a new innovative way to cool their mining equipment. We're also going to be comparing it to the Antminer S9 Hydro, which was released by Bitmain. And then we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin's place among world currencies in 2018. And we're going to have a brief overview of the Sportsbook section of Bitcoin Chaser. Theo won't be joining us this week, but he will be back next week. He's currently traveling. So those of you who are looking forward to your sports betting section, that is going to be back next week. Right, so taking a look at the markets, it was all green. Yesterday it was on its way up. We had seen some coins like XRP had a rise of 20% this time yesterday. However, today we see a little bit of a different picture. We have Bitcoin at $6,300. Kind of pegging at the same amount each and every week, down 25% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum at $21 billion market cap, down overall from yesterday. However, up 0.34% in the last 24 hours. XRP, we can see its little shoot here earlier this week. However, now it's sitting at a rise in the last 24 hours of just under 3%. Bitcoin Cash down 2.42% in the last 24 hours. EOS also had a bit of a big hit about 2 days ago. It's now back up 0.50% in the last 24 hours, followed by Stellar, Litecoin, and Tether kind of at the same 1% up, 0.5% down kind of range in the last 24 hours. Markets a bit all over the place this week. However, we are going to be taking a look at a new USD backed coin from the Winklevoss twins. So let's jump straight into that. Here you can see is the Bitcoin Chaser website. Everything we discuss in this video is linked down below in the description. At any time of this video, you're welcome to go and click that and watch along with me on your own. Or if you're watching this on an offline version, you have the ability to go read up further in your own time. So Gemini Trust launches cryptocurrency pegged to the US dollar. Now, Gemini Trust is a foundation started by the Winklevoss twins, who launched the Gemini exchange. Gemini will launch a cryptocurrency pegged to the US dollar, led by the Winklevoss twins. Now, if we take a look over here, here is a picture of the Winklevoss twins, and right next to that, we can see Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss. Forbes estimates that each has a crypto worth between $600 and $700 million. So these boys aren't playing around. It has two key features: the stability of fiat currency and the speed of the borderless nature of cryptocurrency. So let's take a look at the Gemini dollar versus Tether, which is also backed by USD. Tether, the most widely traded cryptocurrency that is pegged to the US dollar, that is designed to work as a stable coin. And according to Gemini, theirs will be the first regulated stable coin launched as an ERC20 on Ethereum, allowing users to trade USD on the Ethereum network. Tether is not regulated and refuses auditing and requests to disclose its banking details. Now, this is quite an interesting point we can touch on. There was a little bit of speculation that back in December, when we saw that meteoric rise almost up to $20,000, that some of that may have been fake Tether, so they called it. That's up to you to go research on your own and come to your own conclusion. But that is one of the problems we face at the moment: regulation and they are refusing audits and to disclose banking details. So process leading to the creation of the Gemini dollar. Quickly having a look here at the comment section. Nice to see you, Sheldon and Lauren. Thank you for the fire. Alrighty, it is supposed to eliminate the major flaws of cryptocurrency, namely high volatility and lack of trust, which we just spoke about. It depends on demand and now on competition, which can make it more volatile than intended. So kind of true there. After having their Bitcoin ETF rejected, the Winklevoss twins were looking for the next step. Tyler Winklevoss told CNBC, "It is really a matter of bringing your US dollars onto the blockchain and making them borderless 24/7. We don't think anyone's solving the trust problems. Audits have been lacking in the market up until this point." So as a conclusion, and you remember, you guys can go read along later and you can finish off the article. The link is in the description. The Winklevoss twins are confident about their product. They have assured the public that Gemini dollar is the first regulated stable coin which will do an adequate job in solving the trust problem. Is if you trust Ethereum. Gemini dollar will be pegged to the US dollar on a 1-to-1 basis. At least its price should be more or less constant. If the USD takes a hit or if the Ethereum network faces difficulties, then that price stability will not matter all that much. So very interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this? What do you think about a USD backed coin from the Winklevoss twins? You know, the guys that supposedly got the first idea for Facebook, continued then by Mark Zuckerberg. Very interesting to hear your thoughts. Now on to some more interesting and really exciting information. Actually, this might even blow your mind. Bitfury uses an innovative liquid cooling method to cool mining equipment. So Bitcoin miners are on a race to keep their machines cool, because the more cool that the machine can be, the more power can be drawn out of that machine, therefore giving and providing more hash power. Bloomberg reported that one mining startup buried its mining rigs in the Eurasian steppe to keep them cool. Now, this is a very interesting piece of information. Go check this up on your own. Very interesting stuff to see what actually happened there. Recently, Bitcoin mining giant Bitfury has now researched a new solution that keeps mining machines cool, reducing costs. So following in the footsteps of Bitmain, following Bitmain Technologies Ltd, Bitfury is the next biggest player in the Bitcoin mining industry. Bitmain is launching an IPO and is also water-cooled their Antminer S9, which they are calling the Antminer S9 Hydro. About 2 weeks ago, we featured a bit of information about this. You can go and check out that video. It is the episode from 2 weeks ago. Apparently, Bitfury has a new cooling system of its own that is deploying at its Georgia plant, right? So let's hear about this cooling method. What can be so innovative about it? I mean, it's just liquid cooling, right? We've seen it before. Not really. Bitfury is now running its operations at a 40 megawatt mining plant in Tbilisi. That is a hard one. To reduce the heat and cost of cooling and mining equipment in immersed in a non-conductive liquid. So the mining equipment is put into physically submerged in a non-conductive liquid. Bitfury was reportedly running its operations with 160 mining cooling tanks in July at the time of Bloomberg's visit. So cooling tech with multiple applications. This cooling technology has been used to cool servers and is also being used in car engines. It works by placing the hardware in an open liquid coolant tank. This liquid has a low boiling point. As soon as the equipment gets heated, the fluid boils, which allows the heat to escape. The fluid becomes steam, rises and condenses into a water-cooled coil. It will then go back into the tank. This allows the mining operation to save up to 95% on the energy needed to cool its equipment. Crazy, right? That depends on the size of the company and the degree to which the fluid is lost. So Additional cost-saving measures, China is among the cheapest countries to mine in. Now Georgia is also on the map, and Bitfury's operation there is showing that aside from the sources for cheap energy and the cooling technology, there are additional advantages that Bitmain miners can enjoy in this country. Cheaper land prices and tax incentives should be pushing more miners to shift their operations to Georgia. Absolutely crazy stuff going on in mining at the moment. Seeing some awesome innovation coming, and I'm absolutely loving it. Right, next we're going to be talking about Bitcoin's place among world currencies in 2018. But before we do that, let's take a look at our son of a chain segment, talking about what does transaction data tell us about Bitcoin. Let's take a look at that. Let me just disappear here real quick. Bang. Houdini. Let's go.
What does transaction data tell us about Bitcoin? There is a tendency to compare Bitcoin to other payment methods based on how many transactions it can handle, ignoring its deflationary nature, which makes it behave differently when it comes to transactions and expenditure. A deeper look at the data reveals that the fixation on transaction volumes might be misleading when trying to understand where Bitcoin is going. Bitcoin is not likely to take over any other conventional payment method, since people would rather spend their inflationary money first before they turn to their deflationary assets. How about the other assumptions one might make regarding transaction volume? What does the data about transactions really say about Bitcoin? Generally speaking, transaction rates are equated with usage. That is then taken as a sign of the system's general health. Although transaction volumes are to some extent indicative of the success of the system, there are many other variables and metadata that we must look at to avoid overstretching the degree to which transaction rates really correlate to systematic health. In doing this, it is necessary to take into account the following. A significant number of transactions are made within exchanges. The exchanges that handle most of the volume are centralized, and they keep the private keys at all times. Therefore, they can control how many of these transactions can be bundled together and take less block size. The corollary to this point is not all transactions represent expenditure. Many are speculative. The transactions involve transfers between wallets for the same user with the intent of splitting the amount held on a single place when prices change or for any other security reasons. Taking all these variables into account, it is possible to see that transaction volumes by themselves do not provide as much information as we think. Addressing the data critically will allow us to consider other factors. One of these factors is the correlation between transaction volume and Bitcoin price. There is some correlation, but how strong is it? How much does this correlation reveal about the health of the system? I think that although this correlation is helpful to get a general sense of how much the network is being used, it cannot be used to make any kind of important decision at any level. Fortunately, blockchain.info has a lot more information about the Bitcoin blockchain that we can analyze to avoid the perils of skewed data. Looking at transaction sizes in terms of average amounts transacted, the number of transactions per block, and transaction rates is also important when trying to assess how the Bitcoin network is doing. The core message here is that you should try to broaden your data intake as much as possible before you make an assumption that might cost you dearly.
Right, so that's just talking about how you can broaden your perspective of the data you're absorbing when trying to make a decision on where the Bitcoin network is going and how much more there is at play than just transactional data. Right, so let's talk about Bitcoin's place among world currencies in 2018. Now, this is a very long and informative piece, and we're not going to go through the entire thing. We're just going to briefly touch on it. It would be really resourceful for you if you want to learn about this to go over and check it out for yourself after this video. Just open it up in a new tab and carry on your reading experience once the Live at 5 is over. So anyone who ventures out of the crypto sphere and looks at macroeconomy indicators should have noticed a worrying trend. Bitcoin, if we take it to be a currency, has taken a dive against the US dollar, but so have the currencies of some key developing countries. In the case of these countries, the downturn has sparked fears about an incoming recession that could soon spread around the world. When comparing these four economies to Bitcoin, it is important to keep in mind that key characteristic that really separates them from each other, the monetary characteristics, and how that influences their ability to acquire debt. So let's take a look at a tale of one coin and four fiat currencies. So let's take a look at India, Brazil, Turkey, and Argentina. All of these countries have seen their currencies plummet against the US dollar this year, just like Bitcoin. Here we can see the INR against the USD. We can see the USD has definitely forced that coin to depreciate. Forced the currency to depreciate. These countries are also generally regarded to be within the top 20 biggest economies on earth, with Argentina falling to 21st place on some lists. Comparing Bitcoin's market cap to their GDP, it is possible to see that currently it's at about 1/6 of the size of the Argentine economy, the smallest of these four economies. Now, in terms of population, India, Brazil, Turkey, and Argentina together represent around 1,656 million people, whereas Bitcoin, if we consider coin holders in general, might have anywhere between 6 million and 13 million users, depending where you get your info. Here is another depiction of the BRL. Now, let's talk about power. This makes Bitcoin a richer economy on a per capita basis than any of these four countries, but it is still too small to even compare to each of these countries in absolute terms. If Bitcoin were a country and its market cap could be taken to be its GDP, it would rank 63rd in the world. How crazy is that? Hello, Jen. Thank you for joining the stream. Good to have you here. Now, remember, this is fully readable on the Bitcoin Chaser website. The link is down below. We have now almost finished our live stream. We are almost 20 minutes in, and we have one last thing to take a look at. In Theo's absence, I thought it was only right that we take a quick look at the sports betting section of Bitcoin Chaser. Just, keep him in our memory while he's not on this week's segment. So, sports betting on the Bitcoin Chaser website, what is in it for you? So basically, you can take a look at some Bitcoin sports books and sports betting sites all here in front of us. Here we've got Sportsbet, Nitrogen Sports, 1xBet, all available here for you to check out. You can read up about what is Bitcoin sports betting and Bitcoin sports books. You can take a look at prominent features of Bitcoin Sportsbook and sports betting. How crazy, almost anonymous, better bonuses and odds. All this information is readily available for you here. All you got to do is click that link in the description and come take a look if you're into sports betting. And friends, that is finally the end of our Wednesday live at 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was absolutely fantastic. Another week goes past. Cryptocurrency all over the place, as we can see here, but I promise you it's coming. We all know there are a few bets going around about what is going to happen with Bitcoin by like 2020. Not saying any names other than actually, you know what, the first person to guess who has a bet going on for 2020 around the price of Bitcoin, I will mention you in the next stream. How's that? Alright guys, that is the end of the video. If you like this video, smash that like button in the face. If you want to see more videos like this and be notified as soon as we go live, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notifications button so you can actually get the notification straight to your mobile or desktop or laptop or tablet device. All of it is available here on Bitcoin Chaser. And from myself, BroKaine, I wish you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.